All right, let's get right into it. We've all been taught that the person who talks the most, the loudest voice in the room, that's the one with all the power. But what if I told you that's completely backward? What if real power isn't in the words you speak, but in the ones you decide to hold back?
Just think about that for a second. Picture the last big meeting you were in, or a tense negotiation. Who really had the upper hand? It's a pretty wild thought, right? And it points to this really cool psychological shift, where being quiet isn't about being timid or shy. Nope, it's about being strategic.
Okay, so let's dig into this idea of silence as a strategy. This is all about reframing how we look at it. We're going to stop thinking of silence as just, well, an empty space, a weakness, and start seeing it for what it can be, a deliberate, powerful tool that you can actually choose to use. So let's break this down, because there are really two different kinds of silence. On one side, you've got passive silence. You know the feeling. It's when you're quiet because you're scared or you just don't know what to say. We've all been there for sure. But then, on the other side, you have strategic silence, and this is totally different. It's a conscious choice. It's a measured, calculated move. See, it's not a knee-jerk reaction. It's a deliberate response. And that difference, that's everything. That's where the power is.
And this right here, this is the core of it. It's all about making a psychological shift. I mean, look, anyone can react. That's our default setting, right? It's easy. But to actually pause, to choose silence, and then respond with intention, wow, that takes some serious control. It's like shifting from being just a pawn in the game to being the player who sees the whole chessboard.
So the big question is, how do you actually do that? How do you make that shift? What's going on upstairs in our minds that makes this whole silence thing so powerful? Well, it turns out it all boils down to two key psychological ideas.
First up is something called the detachment response. Sounds fancy, but it's really just your ability to take an emotional step back. Okay, imagine this. You're in a meeting, and a coworker throws a little passive-aggressive jab your way. Your gut reaction, your knee-jerk response, it's to get defensive, to fire back, right? But with detachment, you just don't. You meet their comment with calm silence, and that sends a super powerful message. It says, nope, you don't get to control how I feel. It's like you're literally cutting the puppet string.
Okay, the second piece of the puzzle is internal validation. This is a big one. It basically means your self-worth, your confidence, it comes from inside you, not from other people agreeing with you. When you truly don't need someone else's approval, that desperate urge to jump in and argue every little point just melts away. You can stay silent because you're secure. Your ego isn't on the line, so you don't have to win every single battle.
And when you put these two things together, that's when the magic happens. Think of it like this. Detachment gives you the breathing room, and internal validation gives you the rock-solid foundation. They work together to build this unshakable inner calm. It's like building a fortress inside your mind that lets you respond with purpose instead of just reacting out of panic or anger. All right, so we've talked about the psychology. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the practical benefits. Because let's be real, this isn't just some abstract idea. Mastering this mindset has real, concrete payoffs in your everyday life.
So you might be asking, what do I actually get out of this? Why do all this mental heavy lifting? Well, the answer is a lot. This can completely change the game for you in conflicts, negotiations, pretty much any important conversation.
Let's run through the 5 big reasons why your silence is your greatest power. Number 1, you maintain control. When you don't react emotionally, you're the one in the driver's seat, period. Number 2, you project confidence. I mean, think about it. Calm, collected silence is way more powerful than frantic, rambling words. Number 3, you gain information. This is huge. While everyone else is scrambling to fill the quiet, you get to sit back, listen, and learn. You'd be amazed what people will say just to break the tension. Number 4, you prevent mistakes. We've all done it, said something stupid in the heat of the moment. Silence is like your very own undo button. And finally, number 5, you command respect. When you speak less but with more intention, people lean in. Your words suddenly carry so much more.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now it's time to talk about the how. Let's get into putting this all into practice. Seriously, think of this as your new superpower, something you can start working on, like, today.
If you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Silence isn't empty. It's actually full of answers. We have to stop thinking of it as a void and start seeing it as a space. A space to listen, a space to think, a space to really observe what's going on. That's where you find the clarity you need before you open your mouth.
So I'll leave you with this challenge. The next time you're in one of those tough spots, A tense meeting, a difficult conversation with family, a big negotiation. Where are you going to use your silence? Where are you going to find that moment to pause, to listen, and to use that silence not as a sign of weakness, but as your greatest strength?